Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I'm going to give all the praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Racha HaKodash, or Racha Kodash, excuse me. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Salutations, much love and respect to you, Akim, out there pushing this word out in truth and sincerity. Now, this lesson is going to be entitled, Was Tariq Nasheed set up to push the FBA movement to divide Jake? Was Tariq Nasheed set up to push forth the FBA movement to divide Jake? And I believe that he was. And this is, to me, it reeks of Esau's influence. And I'm going to say why. I was doing some research on it too. And ultimately, the FBA movement, which stands for Foundational Black Americans, which is to distinguish the the so-called Black Americans, which are really Judites, right? The majority of them are Judites. Right, you got Gadites mixed in there and whatnot, but a majority of them are Judites in America. Okay, it's not dealing with the Judites in West Africa. It's not dealing with the Judites around the world. It's only dealing with the Judites in America, and it's not dealing with any other tribes. Right? So, right, when you deal with that, okay, what it does is you see that there's a making a mockery of the other people that are not FBAs, and so on and so forth, calling them tethers. So he has a term for them and he calls them tethers. And this has created a lot of division between Judah and America. Some of them are Gadites as well and Reubenites as well. So that has created a division between them and also the other Israelites around the world. Okay? So Esau's motto is always divide and conquer. He's always been about dividing and conquering. Let's go to Proverbs 6 and 16. And I'm going to show you some things, right? Because the FBA movement, that stemmed from the ADOS movement. Okay? The American descendant of slaves. It came from that movement. But this was branched off because that movement was found to be compromised. Okay, it was found that it was tied to the Edomite supremacist groups and so on and so forth. Yeah. So I believe this is nothing more than it's basically a Federal Reserve type of game. It's basically what they call it, the stable coin game that they're playing. They're changing the name, they're changing the face, but it's the same thing. Okay? This is Proverbs 6 and 16. That's what I believe. It says, "These 6 things doth Yahweh hate. Yes, 7 are an abomination unto him. A proud look, a lying tongue, and hands that shed innocent blood, an heart that deviseth wicked imaginations, feet that be swift in running to mischief, a false witness that speaketh lies, and he that soweth discord among brethren." And this is what this is doing. It's sowing heavy discord. I'm going to show you some videos because now there's basically they call it a diaspora war. A diaspora war. That's what they're calling it. They're because all these different Jakes, they're warring against each other and coming, and really they're all coming up. Judah's coming up against all of them, and they're coming up against Judah. That's pretty much what's happening. Specifically Judah in America, because Judah in America is not the only Judites on the planet. There's Judah in different parts of the world as well. So anyways, we'll go to this word here, discord. Hebrew word is madun. Okay. Madun, which says discord, strife. Okay, and this is strife, variant meaning differences, contention. And there's a great contention amongst Jake right now. We know that Esau is big at sowing discord. He was doing it to the Native American tribes. He did it to the slaves. He did it to the different, the light skin versus the dark skin. He is behind all of those mindsets. Okay, and he's behind the division between the southern kingdom and the northern kingdom. All right. He propagates that because hey, that's a union that he definitely does not want to happen. Okay. He doesn't want Jake to even be the southern kingdoms to even be aligned with each other. How much more does he want the southern kingdom to be aligned with the northern kingdom? No, that's it. That's a nightmare. That's why the scriptures speak about the two prophets that tormented us. That's dealing with the southern and the northern kingdom. Okay, but through the Spirit, we're coming together in this truth. All right. Salakia. I'm going to play a couple videos and I'm going to show you some information on the ADOS movement, because this FBA stems from the ADOS movement. Before you heard about FBA, you were hearing about ADOS. And that's been proven to be, propaganda from the government, from Esau. Okay, so let's play some of these, a few of these clips. The hell? Oh no! The hell is going on, man? Oh, okay, this is okay. I got scared for a minute. The volume is down. Thought something was wrong with the program.
Look at this clip. Zeus, he's Nigerian American, and Bilu is Black American. Zeus, he was explaining to Bilu that there is a diaspora war and it's deep rooted. He used a very clear and simple analogy. Listen. Look.
A lot of this is deeply rooted. Okay, let's have you heard of the saying, like, you put red ants next to black ants, and they really smooth and they cool, right? In the bottle, when you shake that motherfucker up, the red ants think the black ants is enemies and vice versa, and they attacking each other, but nobody focused on who shook that motherfucker. Facts. So let's start from the root of why a lot of the issues we have even became the beat in the first place. Okay, so let's address that. No, we don't gotta address it, but let's just keep that in mind. Okay. Yeah, keep it in mind. So with that being said, I can only speak on Nigeria. I can't speak on any other country in Africa. Okay. Yeah.
What do you guys think about this? Zeus, he broke this down in a very simple way for many people to understand. That ant analogy, someone is shaking this bottle to cause these diaspora wars, and that is a deep-rooted issue. Do you agree with this?
The one that's shaking the bottle is the Edomites, the so-called white man. Now, the thing is, a lot of these jakes don't even understand. They speak about Africa, and they're thinking about the whole continent like these are one people. These are totally different. There's all kind of different nations in Africa. Okay? And just because they're dark skinned doesn't necessarily mean they're your people. He's your people, right? Because he's Nigerian. He's a Nigerian Israelite, right? The west coast of Africa, that's majority Israelite. That's majority Israelite. But then you go to different parts of Africa, east and Sudan and Ethiopia and these different places. That's majority Hamites. You even got Jake sprinkled amongst them, but that's majority Hamite over there. So these are totally different people. Because you're going to hear ignorant statements from Jake in America. Because a lot of these Jakes, they never left the hood. They never left their neighborhood. They never traveled. They never did. See, which I don't understand how that is, because they're in Babylon, because there's all kind of nations in Babylon. But it's like this ignorance of like they never left their neighborhood. Almost. Some of them. Based upon some of the things that they say, and You know, that's why the scriptures speak about he that travels, a traveler, he has much wisdom. Because when you travel, you're able to see different things and understand different things and cultures better. You know, it gives you a broader understanding of things. So, anyways, let's go here and before, when it comes to this FBA thing, I was on Judah's side. Like, yeah, Judah, you know, everyone, Judah's the top tribe, and everyone's coming up against Judah and this and that. But then you kind of see both sides, and you kind of like, yo, these niggas, everyone's tripping, okay? Everyone's tripping and bugging out, okay? And Esau's behind it all. Right? I didn't understand people were calling into a show, oh, Mario, you mad, you go FBA. I'm like, if the guy wants to separate FBA, let him, he has the right to do so. Why you guys get so mad, insulting the man? You know? Okay? But on the flip side, you know, some of the things that they're saying, it's like what are you talking about, man? You know what I mean? Salakia, it's on mute again. Salakia, let's put that back up.
I got a question for black Americans that think they came from Africa. Okay? Listen up. Have you ever seen an African from Africa over there with an afro and a beard? I'm waiting. No, you haven't. You know why? Because we're not from Africa. You know what I'm saying? We're not from Africa. Their hair don't grow like ours. They don't grow beards. They don't. I mean, no shame to them, but I'm just saying, this is the difference. You know what I'm saying? We don't know nothing about Africa. We don't know no people from Africa. Our lineage is descendants of Africa, but we from America. We are Americans. Stop thinking that you're African. And
now this chick in the background, she's coming off as a Hamite, and she's showing Hamite image. This is not our people. This person you have in the background, this is not our people. But addressing what he said, matter of fact, let's get this Hamite off the guy. Get this Hamite off the screen with that nasty looking hair. This is not our people. Salakia. What he said there about, have you ever seen an African with a beard and an afro? Yes. What are you talking about, man? There's plenty Africans that look just like this guy with beards on their face, man. What are you talking about? Specifically in the west of Africa. There's plenty Nigerians that look like this. Plenty Ghanaians that look like this. Congolese that look like this with this type of hair, with afros and things of that nature. You know, mini fros or whatever. You know, they may not be into growing it all super big, but it's just the way they keep their hair. You know, the men keep their hair low and whatever the case may be, but they have this, they're able to grow beards. This is an ignorant statement. Is there certain Africans that cannot grow beards? Yes. There's certain black Americans that cannot grow beards, which they may be Gadites as well, but they could just be their genetics. Okay? And most of the ones that can't grow the beard at all, those are mostly Hamites, man. Those are mostly Hamites that can't grow any beard whatsoever, any facial hair whatsoever. That's mostly Ham. Okay? But some could be are Jakes too. But the statement that he made is a false statement, man. It's based upon ignorance. That's what I'm saying. Some of these dudes ain't never left the hood. I know that. I know Africans. I've seen Africa. I know Africans growing up. I see that. I know Africans that grow beard on their face. Just like how this man has a beard. Burna Boy. That's an African. That's a Nigerian with Afro beats, and I believe he has a big beard on his face. It's ignorance, man. Okay? And everybody that's a so-called Negro in America is not a Native American. Was not originally here. So the majority of you were brought here on slave ships. Okay? And some of you came by your own will. as Sephardic Jews. Jews. Okay? Okay. There's a lot of ignorance. Let's go to the next clip. So now she's trying to show, because they're talking about Africa doesn't have nothing, it's poor, whatever, whatever the case may be. That's the thing. So she's trying to show, we have a electronics store. We got the paved roads, blah blah blah. She's trying to stunt, showing that they have electronic stores and paved roads, whatever.
This is a store called Incredible Connections. You see that it's African, but you wouldn't know nothing about that.
Okay.
It's called escalators. You see that? And there's African, but you wouldn't know nothing about that. This is a road called a highway. You see that? It's African, but you wouldn't know nothing about that. My ex-boyfriend lives over there.
Ooh, man, I ain't never heard nobody brag about their ex-boyfriend's house.
So the point, she's trying to clap back at Jake for saying that they don't have nothing but mud huts, whatever statements they're making in Babylon. So, just showing you what's going on right now. What the thing is, they call it the diaspora wars. Let's go to this one. Oh my gosh. Okay, let's do this.
And you know what I'm going to say what don't nobody want to say? We don't eat African food like that. African food ain't good. Black people eat Jamaican food. Hell, we'll eat Indian food, Chinese food before we go buy African food. Africans had to eat out of necessity. You know what I'm saying? They didn't have spices and stuff like that over there. And they've become accustomed to eating the way they've been eating. They never changed it. Fufu nasty as hell. Y'all don't know how to put no seasoning, no salt, pepper, or put some butter over the damn fufu. Y'all food is too bland.
You know what? There's a reason why nobody wants to say what you are saying on the internet. Because they don't want to sound confused like you are right now.
I'm telling you.
And they don't want to sound like they don't know what the map look like. I mean, it's your choice. It's your own money. If you don't like African food, no one is forcing you.
You get it?
Yankasa cried you and then soon you did that. So we don't care. But the moment you go like Jamaican food, Chinese food, Indian food, and you say something like African food, then we all know that you are part of those people. Unless maybe you've been to all the 54 countries in Africa. Do you know where people consume spices the most in the world?
Well, that's the thing, is that Africa is not just a monolith. There's different kinds of food in Africa. So that in itself is ignorance. To think that the term African is ignorance. To even call yourself an African is an ignorant statement on those so-called Africans' part, because there's so much different nations in Africa. There's Arabs in Africa, which are Ishmaelites. There's Hamites in Africa, Canaanites, and even amongst them, there's nations. Ham is not a nation. Ham is a son of Noah. There's nations within Ham. There's Canaan. There's Phut. There's Philistine, so on and so forth. Okay. So, anyways, but I'll say this: I had some African food the other day, man. It was good. I had the fufu for the first time. It was good. Okay, it really tastes like mashed potatoes. Honestly speaking, and I'm gonna tell you something, that not every single dish I favor, but I don't favor every dish from anywhere. I don't favor any dish from any place. Okay, but there's definitely good food, and it's definitely seasoned and spicy. Okay, if you go to the West African food. Okay, and what was I gonna say? Something I was gonna say too. The Nigerian chicken, that's fire. The jollof rice and the Nigerian chicken, that's some fire shit. That's fire right there. Okay, with the red sauce, that's fire. Don't tell me that's some of the best rice on the planet. I'm gonna tell you right now. Okay, some of the not just best, not the best, right? The best chicken on the planet, the Nigerian chicken with the red sauce on it. I'm gonna tell you that right now. So this whole thing is stupid, but it's set up by Esau. Okay, Esau set this up, man. Okay, Esau set this up. All right, and I'm gonna show you that, but first I want to get a couple scriptures. Let's get this. Let's get Sirach 12:17. It says, "If adversity come upon thee, thou shalt find him there first. And though he pretend to help thee, yet shall he undermine thee." Esau is undermining you through this, okay? Through this whole war that's going on. This is Ecclesiastes 4 and verse 9. It says, "Two are better than one, because they have a good reward for their labor. For if they fall, the one will lift up his fellow." Salakia. "But woe to him that is alone when he falleth, for he hath not another to help him up." Right? So, you wonder if Esau thinks that, when he starts coming for Judah and America, that everyone's going to be against Judah, so no one's going to help. Right? And him pushing that, that division may make it so. But eventually the tribes are going to link up together, regardless of what Esau's pushing. To some extent, they're going to link up. It says, again, "If two lie together, then they have heat. But how can one be warm alone? And if one prevail against him, two shall withstand him. And a threefold cord is not quickly broken," because you're stronger together. That is a true saying. That we are stronger together, Jake. That is true. If you're divided, you're weakened. You're scattered. Okay, and that's what Esau wants. So I want to go into some information here. Ask the chat. And the Most High Yahweh should be our shy. Everything that Esau comes out with on the left hand side, for the most part, it helps us on the right hand side. Okay, it helps to push forth this truth, helps to bring us on a higher level. Okay, it says how the ADOS movement is seen as compromised, because the ADOS movement was compromised, and that's where Tariq Nasheed got the FBA movement from. Okay, it says right wing and nativist backing. Yvette Carnell served on the board of Progressives for Immigration Reform, which is strongly linked to the white supremacist Federation for American Immigration Reform. They're tied, they're funded by the same people, it seems. Okay, and similar anti-immigration groups, but they're coming with like a different approach. So the Progressives for Immigration Reform is basically saying, yeah, we have to set, give these illegals a legal way to enter into the country and not put them in cages. And basically they want more rights for the illegal immigrants, but they have to show them how to come the right way. While the other one, the Federation of American Immigration Reform, they want to stop legal and illegal immigration. And you know what that means. They mean legal and illegal immigration of people of color, right? But they both have a similar goal, and they're both funded by the same people. Seemingly, it says ADOS rhetoric often mirrors conservative anti-immigrant talking points, such as emphasizing job competition for immigrants. And I remember that talking point. Oh, these immigrants, they're going to be taking our job. Jake Judah was saying that. These immigrants going to be taking our job. As if Judah's out there picking berries. You ain't picking no fucking berries, man. Despite its self, and you don't want to do that. Okay? Despite its self-identification as progressive. See? So that is, because it was basically like backing up what the Edomites were saying. Okay? What the Edomite Federation was saying, but it was coming from a different approach. And I remember that time when the ADOS movement was popular. Now that has been replaced by the FBA movement. It says messaging that weakens broad unity. Messaging that weakens broad unity. They don't want you Jakes to be unified. Okay? It says critics argue Ados attempts to fracture black solidarity by focusing exclusively on Ados lineage-based identity, excluding African and Caribbean immigrants, which aligns with nationalist and far-right narratives. You know, even Esau's so cunning and subtle. He'll tell you, "Oh yeah, you Black Americans, you not like them immigrant blacks. You American." And then he'll go back and tell the immigrant Jakes from Jamaica or wherever else, "Oh, you not like them African American blacks. You civilized, okay? You hardworking." So that's what Esau does. He plays both sides of the fence. It says Ados has selectively referred. So let me just make sure everything is good. Okay, cool. Okay, so it says so let me pull that back up. Ados has selectively referenced historical figures like Queen Mother Audley Moore and Martin Luther King Jr., which was a set-up plant by the so-called white man. This was nothing but a plant. I don't know why you're referencing this coon for. Often stripping away global African and Pan-Africanist context to fit their agenda, right? Because they can't mention people like Marcus Garvey because he was Jamaican. They can't mention certain other people that was part of, that was for them, that was for Jake in America and Jake abroad. You can't mention them because, they're not part of that. So they got to selectively pick certain people to mention. Okay? When they're dealing with inventions that, which Jake in America, they did invent the mass majority of the things you see today. Okay? Those are, they have been at the forefront of all this music that you see. Okay, the Most High has put that spirit in Jake in America. Now you gotta exclude, other things that you have to selectively pick and exclude certain things that certain black people from other places invented or did. Because why? Because it doesn't align with the agenda of the division. Okay, it says amplification via propaganda tactics. The movement has been described as operating like a Trojan horse. And who's that? That's when Jake started to realize, wait, this is kind of weird, man. This seems like an agent provocateur activity. Or astroturf operation. Posting disinformation on purpose. Deploying troll accounts. Yeah, and I believe the same thing is happening with the FBA movement. Online harassment, yeah, and amplifying divisive identity narratives under the guise of reparations under the guise of reparations advocacy. So hold on, that's what Tariq is doing. Now he's pushing for reparations as well. So he's doing the same exact thing as the Ados movement with now it's a different face. And now, he's not trying to be seen as aligned with these same people, which he's probably being funded by, backdoor by these people. Observers note the use of blood and soil metaphor. That's what I believe. I don't have proof, but that's what I believe. Like, we'll listen to this whole video and listen to the evidence, listen to the conclusion. And if you're a judge, then you should be able to see something is off. Observers note that use of blood and soil metaphors and excessive focus on lineage-based purity, which evoke ethno-nationalist framework. And you're worried about, just for the FBAs. But Esau ain't gonna give you reparations anyway. Esau is not planning on giving you reparations anyway. So but we get reparations only gonna be for the FBAs. He's not trying to give you reparations, period. What you talking about, man? He ain't trying to give you no reparations. What are you talking about, bro? I should insert that meme with a Westbrook. What are you talking about, man? He ain't trying to give you no reparations. Are you kidding me? He's trying to give you no fucking reparations, man. Okay? So this is nothing but the FBA movement is nothing but the Ados movement in disguise, which was a government movement which was infiltrated and which was set up by Esau. The only pure movement out here on this planet right now is the Hebrew Israelites of the elect. That's it. I'm not talking about these other camps. I'm talking about the elect Israelites, starting with the apostles and elders of Great Millstone on down. That's what I'm speaking about. That's the only pure movement. Everything else is compromised and is set up to push wickedness, man. All right. So Lord willing, this was edifying to the elect, and I'll say shalom.